viewers, this is Jade, and in light of recent events going on with the global pandemic, many of us have found ourselves having to switch our entire routines up. Many of us have found ourselves with a whole lot of extra time on our hands, and because of that, I have compiled a list of 5 Netflix shows that I think you might want to check out and would enjoy. So I'm gonna read the blurbs off or whatever, and then we'll talk a little bit about each show. So the first show on my list is On My Block, and if you've watched my videos with any regularity, you will know that I am a huge fan of this show. It actually just came back for the 3rd season early April, and the way it ended, you're kind of like, what? So thankfully, we have found out there will be a 4th season. There will be a follow-up, so hopefully we will get some answers as to what's going on. So On My Block follows a quartet of bright, street-savvy friends who are navigating their way through high school, including all of the triumph, pain, and newness they experience along the way. Lifelong friendships are tested as Monse, Ruby, Jamal, and Caesar confront the challenges of adolescence and life in their predominantly Hispanic and Black neighborhood in South Central Los Angeles in this coming-of-age comedy series. Yes, it is a comedy. That is one of the things I love about it the most. It is hilarious. So you have when it starts, it's basically 2 main things going on. First, you have the character Caesar, whose family comes from gang activity. His father, his brother, cousins, uncles, whatever. And so his brother gets out of jail, and he is basically kind of forced into this life of gang activity. And then so you have the other friends, Monse, Caesar, and Ruby, trying to extricate him from this, because Caesar just kind of wants to be a regular kid. He wants to go to school. He has dreams of being an architect. He wants to get out of that neighborhood. Da 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 da. And then the other thing going on is Jamal and his Dateline activities. There's a mystery about this place called Roller World. I think it was like a roller skating place or whatever, and that back in the day, the Santos, which is the gang, robbed Roller World and hid the money around the town somewhere. And Jamal insists that this money exists and that he's going to find it. And the rest of his friends are just like, whatever, like, whatever. We're not, what do you, Jamal? Do you, or whatever. Now, for me, Jamal is the absolute standout character in this series. You do get introduced to another one, another girl in this series, Olivia. She comes to live with Ruby, and so she is incorporated in the 1st season as well. And the thing with that is, even though, and there's other characters as well, even though there are other characters in the show, there is the core 4. So you have, of course, Ruby, Monse, Jamal, and Caesar. They are the focus of this show. And then, I mean, all sorts of shenanigans ensue. It is hilarious, especially with Jamal trying to solve the mystery of the Roller World money, and then Monse insisting on trying to get Caesar out of this gang. I mean, and then some of their efforts just kind of serve to push him deeper into the gang, unintentionally, but it happens anyway. So I mean, it is, even though it's a comedy series, there are some very serious parts in it. So yeah, very enjoyable show. What I really like about it is that the episodes are only 30 minutes long, so you could watch the whole series from season 1 to season 3 in a matter of hours. The 1st season was 10 episodes, and then the following seasons 2 and 3 were only 8 episodes apiece. So yeah, check out On My Block. Really, really funny. Absolutely love it. Adore the characters. Like I said, Jamal is a standout for me. He was my favorite, so I would be curious to know who is your favorite if you decide to watch this series. Definitely leave that in the comments below, and we will move on to, show number 2. So the second show on my list is Money Heist. And again, if you watch my videos with any regularity, you already know that I am obsessed with this show. Like, it is brilliant. It is freaking amazing. I absolutely love this show. So it's about a criminal mastermind who goes by the Professor, and he has a plan to pull off the biggest heist in recorded history to print billions of euros in the Royal Mint of Spain. To help him carry out the ambitious plan, he recruits 8 people with certain abilities and who have nothing to lose. The group of thieves take hostages to aid in their negotiations with the authorities, who strategize to come up with a way to capture the professor. As more time elapses, the robbers prepare for a showdown with the police. I can't even, there are no words to how freaking brilliant this show is. First of all, the professor decides to rob the Royal Mint of Spain. Royal Mint of Spain. Why? You ask? Because this is actually a kind of dedication to his father. He was really close to his father, but his father was a criminal. And his father was starting to lay out this plan to rob the Royal Mint of Spain, and he ended up passing away. So in his honor, the professor decides he's going to carry out his father's plan, and he picks these people, like the blurb said, they all have certain abilities about themselves that will go cohesively to robbing the Royal Mint of Spain. The professor takes time to train his misfits, or his thieves. He trains them in the art of robbery, I guess. I don't know. He basically lays out this plan for them. So he spends months laying out this plan for them. He has rules as well, like you can't get romantically involved with each other and all, because he's like, it doesn't work if, you know, there's emotional ties to other people in the group or whatever. Mistakes can be made, or whatever. But so yeah, he spends his time laying out this plan, and then they go in, and of course, the best laid plans. I mean, human error. Nobody follows the rules. There are mistake after mistake after mistake, and then you just see the professor trying to clean things up or whatever. So it is between the professor and the inspector on the case, trying to basically get these people out of the Royal Mint of Spain. It's the ultimate chess match. One move here, another move there, and the professor is brilliant. I mean, he prepares for every eventuality. It's amazing to see. And what I really love about this show, they ended up making a documentary about it. So what happened with this show was, it was originally filmed, I want to say in Spain, but it was not a U.S. show. So you can obviously tell that these people are speaking another language, and it's voiced over in English, or whatever language country that you're watching it in, it will be voiced over in that. So what I love about this show is the fact that it started off in its own country, and the popularity of it, people were like, oh, what's this? With the popularity of it kind of just grew and grew and grew and grew for the first season. And then when they came back for the second part, just as fast as it grew, it tanked. So that was basically the end of Money Heist. And so I don't know why, but Netflix decided to buy Money Heist, or whatever. They ended up airing it on Netflix, and the popularity of it just took off. And so, excuse me, because of that, they ended up continuing on with the series and making more seasons. So season 3 and season 4 came along, and y'all, I'm telling you, like, it is so interesting to see the chess match between the professor and the inspector, and the people trying to get him and his thieves. It's amazing. Like, and then watching the documentary, you see how there's this song that they play constantly in the show called Bella Ciao, and it is an old, like, Italian song that was used for rebellion, and people rising up against the machine, or people fighting for their rights and social justice. And it has become a huge thing. So, like, when you see protests and things around the world now, like, people are donning the outfits of the money heisters, and they're playing this song. This song is like their anthem. It is a whole movement. I'm telling you, like, watch this show and then watch the documentary. It is really very interesting. absolutely love this show. I can't even, there are no words, okay? So yeah, let's move right along. Okay, the third show on my list is Tiger King, and I'm sure many of you have heard about this show by now. It is about a zoo owner named Joe Exotic who spirals out of control amid a cast of eccentric characters. These are not characters; these are real people. In this true murder for hire story from the underworld of big cat breeding. Okay, the way I describe this show is it is an a train wreck of epic proportions, this show. And just when you think, okay, this can't get any more ridiculous, yeah, the next episode just kind of ups the ante. Like, it just keeps going on and on and on. And you're like, who are these people? Why are these people? And why have I never known any of this stuff that's going on? Like, how have they kept this foolishness hidden for so long? So you have this guy named Joe Exotic, and he's really into big cats, tigers and lions and things of that nature, basically mini tigers or whatever. And he keeps them in this wouldn't quite call it a sanctuary. He has his own little zoo or whatever. But, like, it's the whole thing. It's not even just Joe. There is this other guy. I can't even remember his name. He has a whole big cat rescue type thing. And then there is this woman named Carol Baskin. And Carol and Joe are like mortal enemies. Like, they are foes. They can't stand each other. They go back and forth. I mean, there are lawsuits. It is ugly, guys. Like, it gets ugly. There are lawsuits. And then Joe and his ridiculousness, like his hatred for this woman is astronomical. He makes these country music videos talking crap about her. He has this little reality show he does, and it's constantly this woman's name is in his mouth, and you're like, what is going on here? And then Carol, you thinking, oh, okay, maybe she's cool. Her issue with Joe is that he breeds his animals or whatever. But when you get further into the show, you realize that Carol is doing the same thing. Like, Carol is doing the same thing. I really don't understand what her beef was, because she's doing the same thing. So you're thinking Carol is the same one out of all of this unsane stuff going on, this insane stuff going on. But no. Then you learn more about Carol, and you start questioning Carol too, okay? Because I'm telling you guys, this show is both equal parts tragic and hilarious. Like, because you cannot believe, like, how you cannot believe the foolishness going on in this big cat industry. And the thing is, the thing is, this documentary is more about the people than it is about the tigers, okay? It's called Tiger King, but it follows mostly about the people and Joe Exotic, and Joe even gets into the political arena. First he's running for governor, and then he tries to run for president, and I'm shocked because y'all, his campaign video, I'm telling you, okay, I know I'm all over the place with this, but that's because the show is all over the place. This show is not for everybody, okay? I could not stop watching it. I binged the whole thing in one sitting because it was fascinating to me. Seeing how other people live, what they do, how they think, how they act, why they do the things that they do, fascinates me. And the train wreck of people in this show I don't know. I mean, and because of this, like, there have been so many articles, memes, blog posts, videos, all kinds of foolishness made behind Tiger King. Like, so that's why I said I'm sure you guys have heard this by now. Some people will be able to watch it and enjoy it just for what it is. And some people be like, I cannot do this, okay? And I get it either way. Personally, like I said, I could not look away. It was like a train wreck. I could not stop watching it. So yeah, check out Tiger King, guys. just man, check it out. See what's going on in the world of big cats, because I'm sure you never knew. I'm sure you never knew. So yeah, that's it. Tiger King, check it out. Okay, the fourth show on my list is the Ozark. Well, not the Ozark. It's called Ozark. And it is a drama series that stars Jason Bateman as Marty Bird, a financial planner who relocates his family from Chicago to a summer resort community in the Ozarks. With wife Wendy and their two kids in tow, Marty is on the move after a money laundering scheme goes wrong, forcing him to pay off a substantial debt to a Mexican drug lord, in order to keep his family safe. While the bird's fate hangs in the balance, the dire circumstances force the fractured family to reconnect. So Marty moves his family from Chicago to the Ozarks in order to set up an operation to do more money laundering so he can pay off his debt to this Mexican drug lord. And in the meantime, shenanigans ensue because he moves his family to this place where, okay, first of all, it says it's a summer resort town, and while there is a lake there, it's not, to me, doesn't read very summery. The way that the show is shot is kind of dark, and not like dark, like depressing or anything. It's just, but I think it's just kind of, it matches the mood of the show. So it's a very kind of more of a serious show than it is like a comedy. Like I said, it's a drama. And so the characters are what make this show for me. First of all, you have Marty Bird, played by Jason Bateman. And can I just say, Jason Bateman has been doing the damn thing lately. He was on this show on HBO called The Outsider. But not only was he on the show, he's been producing, he's been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And so he was in this show for like a couple episodes, but he did it like he was a producer or something on The Outsider, and I personally really enjoyed it. It was a show based on a book by Stephen King, and I'm completely off topic, but he also, I said all that to say, he also is a producer on this show Ozark, and an actor. And what I love about Marty is, even though Marty is in this dire circumstance, and like very serious things happen, because we all know things don't always go according to plan when people are trying to get out of serious circumstances or whatever. There are hiccups, there are obstacles in the road, but what I love about the Marty character is that he seems unaffected. And what I mean by that is, something serious might happen where it just throws a monkey wrench in his plan, and Marty just does not react in the way that you expect him to react. Like, he doesn't get hysterical, he doesn't, like, he's not all over the place. I really admire this or whatever. Marty just goes into, he like, it's almost like he immediately accepts whatever crap has been thrown at him, and he immediately goes into, okay, how am I gonna fix this type of mode. Instead of freaking out like most people would do, Marty goes into problem solving mode, and I really really love that about him. I really admire that about him, and I really would love to get like that myself. And then you have his wife Wendy, and from the beginning most people would assume, oh, she's this kind of chill, unassuming woman, she doesn't know much of what's going on or whatever. No, no, Wendy is smart, she is intelligent, she is aware, she knows what's going on. Wendy, she does her own thing, she's trying to get them out of these circumstances or whatever. But then I think with Wendy though, she can be ruthless, but I think she also sometimes can get ahead of herself with a lot of the things that she does and the ideas that she comes up with. So yeah, I enjoy her character as well. And then, like I said, they moved to the Ozarks, but a lot of the people, the locals, are kind of these backwoods, rednecky type of ignorant people. They're not really educated. They're just kind of, you know, like into fishing and getting drunk and all that kind of foolishness or whatever. But then you have this one character. Her name is Ruth, and even though she grew up in that, and she's very much a part of that environment. Ruth is street savvy. She is smart. She is brilliant. She does not take people's shit. I love her. She's one of my favorite characters, and she's hilarious, okay? And for anybody who was a fan of the Tommy Egan character, or the guy that plays Tommy Egan in Power, he is actually in the 3rd season of Ozark. So yeah, check it out. It's a really, I don't know quite how to describe the show, but it's very interesting to me. So yeah, check it out. Check Ozark out. Jason Bateman does a good job in this show, and the rest of the characters are very colorful. So yeah. Okay, the 5th and final show on my list is The Circle. Now this actually came out months ago on Netflix, but I just found it so interesting. I couldn't not include it in this video. So The Circle is, it's a reality show, and it's Big Brother meets Catfish on this reality series on which not everything is as it seems. Comic Michelle Buteau hosts the show that features its contestants moving into the same apartment building. The twist is that the players never meet face to face during the competition, as each one lives in his or her own apartment. The contestants communicate exclusively through profiles created on a specially designed social media app. This anonymity allows them to hide their true identities and portray themselves however they choose. Throughout the competition, the players rate one another, with the lowest rated players put at risk of being eliminated or blocked from the game. The contestant who survives the contest and emerges the winner takes home the $100,000 grand prize. This show was so fun. First of all, I love that Netflix lately has been dipping their toes into the reality series game. Now, this show, I think, is pretty much appropriate for what's going on today. You have these contestants come in. They're all put in this one apartment building, but isolated in their own apartments. They cannot interact with each other beyond using this app that's designed for them called The Circle. And so they have to kind of try and figure out who is who through the circle. Who do they feel is genuine? Who is being themselves? Who do they think might be a catfish? Because you do have people who come in and they are genuinely being themselves. And then you have others who come in and put on a persona because they feel like that would help them rank better in the standings. And then each day after interacting with each other through this app, they have to rank each other from lowest to highest, and whoever ranks the lowest basically gets kicked out. And what's fun about getting kicked out is that the person who gets kicked out is able to visit one person before they leave or whatever. So it's a very interesting show. It's an interesting social experiment. And what's funny is you really start enjoying these people and enjoying even some of the characters that come in, as far as the people who are there, but they are pretending to be someone else. Now, when it first starts, they start off, I think, with like 8 contestants or whatever. And so from there, they are eliminated, and then once someone is eliminated, they actually end up bringing in someone new. Personally, I ended up really sticking with the people who kind of got there first and wanting one of them to win. And then there are just so many of them that you just really end up liking. Like, there's Chris. He is so fun. Like, I could so be friends with Chris in real life. And then you have Shubham. He is like this sweet, unassuming guy. But what's funny about Shubham is that he insists that people be themselves, that he doesn't like fake people. And he's one of the main ones that ends up falling for a catfish. Yeah, it's a fun experiment. And then what really makes the show for me is the host, Michelle Buteau. Yeah, she like kind of narrates throughout the series as well, and she's so funny. Oh my gosh, she's so funny. And I've seen her in other stuff before. I feel like I want to say maybe she was in Crazy Rich Asians. I don't know, but I know for sure she was in that show Tales from the City, which aired on Netflix a while ago. That was a really good show too. But anyway, Yeah, it's a fun social experiment. Again, I really like that Netflix is stepping into the reality series, and it seemed to be pretty popular. And I know that they did a Brazil version. I was gonna watch that, but it's actually in Spanish, so no, I could not watch it. See, I really need to learn Spanish. But anyway, so I'm assuming, or I'm hoping that eventually they will come out with another season of The Circle, because it was really fun to watch. The catfishes, the not catfishes, the or whatever. So and I was pleased with who ended up winning. I'm not going to tell you whatever, but yeah, I was pleased with how it ended. It was an interesting show. So yeah, that is it. Those are my top 5 picks for Netflix right now. I might come back and do another one of these if you guys are interested. But yeah, check it out, guys, on my blog. Money Heist, Ozark, The Circle, and Tiger King. They will definitely keep you entertained. And if you end up watching any of these, definitely leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about them, or if you have seen them. I would love to have a discussion with you guys about these shows, because they were just hilarious to me. Most of them hilarious, interesting, funny, whatever. So that is it. I hope you all are safe and happy and healthy, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.